What's going on YouTube? Today I'm going to talk about the top 3 things that I love about this kayak and the top 3 things that I absolutely hate about it. So let's talk about this seat first off. I absolutely love this seat. I can sit in this seat all day long. It's got plenty of adjustments here. The other thing I really like about it is it's got plenty of room for storage underneath the seat. So I can take these 2 big boxes here. I can fill them with whatever I want. So that's my saltwater setup. So seat flips up, you store whatever you want there. It's got a strap under there in case you want it. I don't really use that strap most of the time. I just stick these boxes under here. But the good thing is it's got both a high and a low seating position, meaning if you're more comfortable in the lean back position, you can adjust your seat so your feet feel a little bit better right here. But I can sit in this seat all day long, 8 hours. I do have a little cushion that I keep with me. They also make those, what they call kayak cushions, that I've heard really good things about. Again, plenty of adjustments with just basically the rotation of your hand right there for that side, and then that side as well. You want this angle of the seat. You can take this whole seat out. You can set it down at the beach. Coming in at number 2, guys, is the storage of this kayak is immaculate. Now, the reason why I picked the Hobie PA14 is because of this right here. Of all the gear that I can fit in. All the gear, all the tackle boxes, my net. I've went over this in my simple rigging video. But you cannot beat the storage on the PA14 against any other kayak. I challenge you to be able to fit more items on this kayak. Especially you can put the Hobie bin on the side. If you're small like me, you can still put a lot of gear up here. You got the tackle or the trays underneath there. You got the flip up. You can replace that with the storage bin. And then all this real estate back here. The last thing that I really like about this kayak is the stability of the kayak. You can go and you can walk out all the way on this edge right here. And you can flip this thing side to side to side to side. And you'll have a really hard time flipping this kayak. Stability is why I chose this kayak. It is 38 inches wide. So there's really maybe one other kayak out on the market. I think the Jackson Big Rig that comes close to this and probably is just as stable. Don't have all the functionality of your Hobie, obviously, but it is a very stable kayak. Hobie feels more like a boat that you kind of sit down into compared to the Jackson Big Rig, which you kind of feel like you're more sitting on top. So it is a little bit more tippy. This kayak, because of the stability and the way that it's cut and chined, just like a boat, cuts through the waves even in that big chop, and you're gonna feel very stable. So let's get into the things that I hate about this kayak. So I went over the things that I really like. There's equal amounts of things that I dislike. Most of those have to do with either transporting or the weight of the kayak. Transporting this kayak is a beast. If you do not have a trailer, I recommend you getting a trailer, or you can use the Hobie wheels. Now, the Hobie wheels, they're great. Both of them, the heavy duty Hobie wheels and the sand wheels. But the problem is you got to take all your gear out. You got to put all your gear back in to get those underneath the kayak, or you got to flip that kayak on the side. And what I found is, you know, if you're at a boat ramp, you're going to be flipping that kayak on the side. You're going to create a lot of rash on the side of your kayak. You're going to be doing a lot of things that you don't really want to do just to get that back on track. All right, let's talk about the second thing that I really dislike about a kayak this big. And it really has to do with the turning radius. Now, obviously, a kayak this large, it's not meant for tight corners. It's not meant for tight spots. You can do that, but it takes a little bit of finagling. You know, these are your steering rudders right here, basically. You got your skeg down, it'll help you turn. But turning this kayak, you have to be moving. You're not gonna turn this kayak in a tight space without moving the kayak. Now, I have the drive that has the 180 reverse, so it's really not a problem for me. Now, guys that don't have the MD 180 drive with the reverse, they basically got to pull their paddle out and grab that paddle and kind of back themselves out of corners if they need to. But you can also upgrade to the 360 drive. But basically, turning can be difficult with this kayak because it is so large. Again, you got to kind of take the good with the bad Now, if you're moving, like I said, if you're moving along, this kayak will turn just as easy as a PA12 will. And lastly, the third thing that I don't like about this kayak is the gear track placement up in the front to where I can't reach. My little T-Rex arms can't get to. You got the gear tracks on both sides. You can slide things in them, like the any of the mount systems that fit in there. You can put pliers in here and scissors and fish grips and whatever else you really want. I never use these things, and it's because they're so far forward. I know I could take my fish finder and mount it down here, and it probably would free up a little bit more room up here. But I like being able to touch the fish finder as I'm sitting in my chair, and even that, is a pretty good reach. For me, if I'm sitting in the chair, I got to lean forward and make adjustments on it if I need it. I really wish that on the next version, what they would do is they would take some of these gear track pads and move them back here. And the reason why I think they should move them back here is because I think they'll just be a lot more accessible. Not to mention, they do it on the Outback. They have cutout slots of the kayak where gear and you can fit a little Plano box in there, fit really well. I think that would do wonders in here. You have plenty of storage, obviously, so you don't really need it. You could throw as many Plano boxes as you want down here, and you can have everything you want. You could put another tackle bin on this side and you'd have plenty of storage, but I just don't really see the point of having these all the way forward. I know a lot of guys don't use them. I've talked to a lot of guys that have the same kayak. I just personally do not like them there. So that's my review of the top 3 things that I love and the top 3 things I hate about this kayak. Hit that subscribe button and like the video and leave me some comments.